This episode is sponsored by The Break Room, downtown's best spot for a hot lunch every business day.
On this episode, Bill Bunten with Score Inc.
Your weekend fun forecast.
And Chef Michelle shows off local bakery Elegant Temptations.
Welcome back to Talk About Topeka, and today we have Bill Bunten here with us from Score Inc., and not the former mayor, Bill Bunten. You're your own Bill Bunten in your own right.
That is correct.
But we're so excited to have you here with us. And Score actually at one point stood for something, S-C-O-R-E, but now it is its own name. It's just Score Inc.
It was the Service Corps of Retired Executives. The people in Washington that sponsor us decided to eliminate the retired because we're looking for volunteers that are not retired to become SCORE volunteers.
Now, you guys do some really great stuff. The SCORE program with executives, helping out, kind of mentor program for other businesses. Tell us about how this program works.
We're sharing our experience in business. Most of us have a lot of it. And we're mentoring and counseling small businesses and small business people. Mm-hmm. We try to work with them and make suggestions and find opportunities and unravel snags and help small businesses grow, and particularly help small business succeed in the Topeka community.
And Bill, what sector did you come from? Like, what did you do before you were helping out here?
For about 50 years, I was a banker.
Oh.
And here for about 13 years back in the 1970s, and then elsewhere for the rest of that time.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about eliminating snags, because I think a lot of people think, oh, I can do this. I can be a small business owner. But you're kind of like a filter where you kind of help them, maybe, tweaking things a little bit to make it a successful business.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. We also try to find other resources that we can't provide to help the small business people. And we rely on our friends and on other people that we know in the community who may have the expertise to provide to our client.
How important is it, as we see a lot of corporate structures coming in for these smaller businesses here, making the climate a little more difficult? How important is it for us to be able to provide the climate that allows Topeka to have small businesses prosper here?
Well, it's very important. Nationally, over 50% of the economic activity is done by small businesses. Mm-hmm. 50% of or slightly less than 50%, slightly more than 50% of the employment, and slightly less than 50% of GNP or GDP is produced by small businesses throughout the United States. It's particularly important in Topeka. We're not a small business community. One of my friends tells me frequently that we have fewer home-owned businesses on Wanamaker than all but 2 of the 250 metropolitan statistical areas.
Wow.
We're a community of state, of government, of education, and of medicine. And there's not an awful lot of entrepreneurial encouragement that comes from those sectors of the economy or community. I worked in Wichita for the same length of time, had the same job in Wichita that I had in Topeka. Mm-hmm. And it's good to compare the economies of the two cities. Wichita is a tremendously entrepreneurial town. Mm. You think about the companies that have come from Wichita, the Boeings, the Beaches, the Cessnas, the Pizza Huts. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize they came from there.
Yeah.
The Rent-A-Centers. We've had good companies come from Topeka too. Private brands, the shoe company.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We've also
Collective
had
brands.
our utilities and several insurance companies. But we just haven't had that entrepreneurial breadth that other towns have had. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to encourage entrepreneurialism in the Topeka community. We have a couple of people that we work with. Mm-hmm. One is the Washburn Small Business Development Center. Yeah. They're an excellent resource. They have a staff. They're also sponsored by the Small Business Administration, which we're sponsored by. Mm-hmm. But they have a full-time staff, so we encourage people to develop their business plans working with that full-time staff. The chamber also has a economic development system, brand new. Well, she's been here now a year. Brand new gal that is experienced in developing small business programs, and I'm looking forward to good results from Glenda.
But this is all really important stuff, because really the main factor when it comes to starting your own business is, do you have the money? Do you have the capital to be able to get something going? And that's kind of where you're guiding people, is to make sure they can get some of that, have access.
I spend a lot of time doing that, but you would be surprised that isn't the case in many instances.
I cringed when you said that a little
Really?
bit. Yeah, I do, yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, let him tell it. I bet we agree.
People have ideas, they have their own resources, they have experience, they may have some savings, but if they don't have savings, they can look to their own savings first, and then their family, and then friends, people who want to see them succeed, people who are interested in the development, or the professional venture capitalists. So there are a lot of different sources of money, but most of the people that we see are in their early stages. They're true entrepreneurs. They're by themselves. They're just starting with an idea that perhaps, hopefully, they have some expertise and experience in. And actually, my friends in SCORE, my associates in SCORE, do more work than I do, because one of the most common needs is for marketing experience and ideas and suggestions. We put on a SCORE roundtable once a month. It starts at 8 o'clock on the first Saturday of each month. It was last Saturday. It starts at 8. It's 90 minutes of conversation between clients and counselors, talking about the problems, the opportunities of small business people. But most of what our clients ask for in those conversations are ideas about marketing. One of our volunteers, Forrest Thurber, really coordinates that program and does a good job of providing marketing ideas. And then people feed off themselves with ideas that they've developed and that they think will work. And it's a good cross-analysis system for the clients that we have. We have normally about 15 clients on that Saturday morning.
Right.
And through the years, this is our 4th year, I think, and through the years it's developed very well.
Yeah, it's one of those things you pop the box open and you teach people how to look outside of it. I think a lot of times, first of all, money, it's more important is the passion, right?
Yes.
The entrepreneurs need the passion, because the money will come.
Passion.
The money will
excited.
follow the passion. If you've really got it there, people will notice that. You really have to have that passion for your idea. But so many times people have that strong passion and they're so driven to keep their passion going that they need somebody to help them poke their head out of the box and think in other ways to help them move their passion to the next level.
Chris, that's very well said. They need someone to open the box for them.
Yes.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Someone who is interested in them, who is willing to help them, who's experienced, and give them some ideas probably and perhaps. We have one young man that came to me after one of the meetings. He has a full-time job, probably still does. But he said, I'd like to sell soda pop. And he said, not the ordinary soda pop, but vintage soda pop, labels that aren't on the shelves anymore.
We know this guy.
Yeah, I think we know this guy.
I think Brian Adams has done very well.
Absolutely.
Yes, he has.
And I have to say, when I had spoken to him before all of this, and in my mind, because I've been in this entrepreneurial business for a long time, and when I was hearing his idea, I was like, there's no way. I didn't have the passion, he did, and that passion is what made it possible, right? I mean, do you see that a lot? Do you get these ideas where people are putting them in your face and you're like, but you help them look outside the box, and
he is one of the most fun people that I've talked to and watched through the years.
Yes.
But we have a lot of people that have taken the courses, the entrepreneurial courses through the Washburn SBDC. or through the Chamber's Go Topeka program, and they go through these courses and they take one step at a time. There's one thing about small business. It's 24/7, 365, and your salary comes out last until you earn it. So you've got to learn, understand, and accept the risks and the disappointments, of which there will be many.
Yes.
But if you have that passion and that desire to succeed and to work for yourself, and as I listen to people talk, the primary motivation in most instances, they want to be their own boss.
Yeah.
They want to make their own decisions. They don't want to sit at a desk and not have any responsibility or accountability that depends on someone else.
Yeah.
It's so true. It really is.
But this is a great thing that people have access to, that they're able to chat with someone who has, worked up through the ranks, doing, your own career in your own right. And then you have another friend who's, who was a CEO of a company he just left. But it's good to have people from all different career angles that are able to help that one entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Now, we don't do this because we don't have this many customers, but I was in Wichita Thursday night for their annual meeting. And as a former Wichitan, I can relate to their economy. One of their SCORE volunteers has counseled 600 people in a year. Much of this is by email.
Wow.
We telephone face-to-face. We counsel face-to-face, by telephone, and by email. The Wichita chapter talked to 629 people during the fiscal year. Our fiscal year is September 30, October 1, September 30. We don't do that many, and most of our counseling is face to face. But we hope we're going to make a greater impact on small business, working with
It's the quality of that
SBDC.
interaction.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. We have to work together. We have a small business to run, and it's interesting. SCORE is one of the very few not-for-profit businesses that does not have a paid executive.
Wow.
Yeah.
We don't have any employees. We're all volunteers. And one important thing about our services, they're all free.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't
That's
cost
really a
you
nice
anything
benefit.
to be talked to or to talk to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you think about the wealth of information that you're getting. I mean, all of you have had spectacular careers, learning different things and gone through different eras, and you're able to bring all of this information to somebody who really needs it.
Yeah. One of the reasons we do this, we want to give back to the community. We've lived here. We've profited by the community in our own careers. And now it's time for us to turn the tables and hope that other people can profit in the same way we can using our help.
Yeah.
Well, so many people in the generation, from the retired folks, and as we said, it's not only retired folks here who are helping, but so many of the retired business folks that I've had the pleasure of meeting here in this community, they worked their whole careers not merely for themselves, but they wanted to leave something a little bit better for the next generation, and I think that is it's evident in what you guys do with SCORE, and it's something that needs to be passed on to the next generation, so that as we're looking at things, it's not about us, it's about our community, right?
Yes, that's very much.
Yeah.
One of the things that in one of my banking jobs, we were looking for places to buy banks. And one of the measures of each community that we use very widely was the effect of its community way, the United Way. We thought if that was strong, it showed the overall charitable nature of the community. We have a good United Way. We have a charitable community that's willing to give to each other.
We certainly do.
Well, it's so amazing. It's so great to have you here and to chit-chat about this so that we know that this is available to so many people. You talked about your first Saturday of the month. Where do you meet at?
We meet at 5724, which is Washburn Tech's address on Huntoon.
Okay.
We meet, there are buildings that face Huntoon, and we're in the easternmost Building A of Washburn Tech on Huntoon. We would welcome all of you to come join us. You'll find it to be a fascinating 90 minutes of very lively conversation.
Yeah,
Well,
excellent.
I think it's so great. And of course, where can we find you? On email?
Or you can find SCORE. You can find SCORE Topeka 342 at gmail.com. You can also find scoretopeka.org on the internet.
scoretopeka.org, and then if you're working with the Washburn Small Business Development Center, make sure you're exploring your options with SCORE.
And I'll give you, that's another telephone number that we use. Our own telephone number is 234-3049, and the SBDC number is 234-3235. Any of those numbers will reach us, and you'll have a response within 24 hours.
Very good.
I think that's absolutely wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Bill Bunten.
And
for
I have
joining
one
us.
quick question
Oh,
for
I'm
you.
sorry. Yes.
Your name's Bill Bunten, but you're not Mayor Bill Bunten. What's it been like living here in Topeka when your name is
The first
same as the
thing I
mayor?
do introducing myself is say, I'm not the mayor.
It's probably nice now that he's not the mayor anymore. You don't have to say that all the time, but
Too many people remember him as the very successful and good mayor of years
Yes.
past.
It's good
No
then
kidding.
to have a reputation behind it then.
Yep.
So, very
Yes.
good.
Well, thank you so much. And of course, we just chatted about SCORE Inc. You can find out more information of all the things that we just chatted about in the interview. Thank you again, Bill Bunten.
Well,
Back
folks,
to talk about Topeka.
we're going to jump on this one because we want to get right to it. Because if you were in our studio, you would be seeing that there is a whole lot of incredibly decadent desserts sitting right in front of
I'm
our
sticking
faces.
out my tongue because I want him to hurry it up so we can eat.
Actually, you got a little drool on your shirt.
I do.
So you might want to wipe that up. But we're here with Chef Michelle
Why
Bryan.
didn't you put like a cape or something over this? Because I've been staring at these while he's, I gotta do this, I gotta do that.
Working.
I just want to sit and eat.
Yeah.
Well, you're always complaining to me that
I am
don't,
always.
I don't
Yes.
bring anything.
Thank you. Finally, someone agrees with me.
That I never bring anything for you guys to eat on the show, and I always talk about food, and then you're hungry afterwards. So we've remedied that today.
I think
There's a solution.
Yes, there's
You're
definitely
quite
a
amazing.
solution.
Okay, I did go. We went and we saw Hound of the Baskervilles, the Sherlock
Yeah.
Holmes, and we came out. And first of all, the meal was absolutely
Thank you.
amazing. You did make that meal, and then we also got dessert at the end. And he let me pick which dessert I wanted, and so I picked this one. But tell us a little bit about. You have a guy that makes these for you.
Yeah, there's a great guy in town. His name is Carlos. He's got a bakery out at 3rd and Gage. He's been in town for about 2 decades making these desserts. He's a master. He's just wonderful. These are all handcrafted
They're
items.
You can see the love in these. I mean,
Absolutely.
absolute perfection.
Absolutely.
Oh, she's trying the flourless chocolate
Yes.
cake. I tried that for this show, and it tastes like fudge.
Like it's just fudge.
Yeah, it's delicious.
This is quality ingredients. This is someone who loves what he does. This is someone who is passionate about pastries.
I do think that he's really amazing, but you know who else I think is amazing?
Who's that?
That Chris, who is such a tightwad, allowed all of these to come up for us to just sit and eat.
We'll
Well,
be back again here on the Big Talker.
Okay, so let's talk about. He does have. So he has this. He makes all these different pastries and these different types of cakes, and he obviously puts a lot of detail in.
Yes. You're eating the To Die For flourless chocolate cake.
If it's gluten free,
Yes, it is.
good, because I am gluten free.
Well, then stay away from the other
Everything
stuff. That's mine. There's the cheapskate in me right there.
This one right here is a Kahlua espresso cake. There's an individual apple tart.
It's beautiful.
It is.
I mean, all of
it's
these
gorgeous.
are beautiful.
He's a professional. This is what he does. If you go down there, ask if you can take a look in his kitchen. It's gorgeous. Stainless steel, lots of equipment. Like, it's beautiful. It's just so organized and so neat. You can tell this is what he loves to do.
So how did you find this guy?
At the farmer's market this past summer.
I think you told me about that, but tell me again.
Yep. His wife and his son set up a little booth at the farmer's market, and they were out there every Saturday selling these items at the farmer's market. And I passed by it a couple of times, and I was like, well, maybe I'll stop next time. And finally, I did.
Are you gonna have fun?
Of
And then
course.
every time I went after that to the farmer's market, I got 2 or 3 different items.
Looking at okay.
Yule log?
Sorry, so we're not.
These are-
She got 2 or 3 different
I
items.
got 2 or 3 different items until I had tried pretty much everything they had out there.
They're both different.
Yeah.
We are paying attention to you,
These-
Michelle. So this,
This is his holiday special item that he's got right now. It's a Yule log. It's actually about, I would say, 1.5 feet long.
the whole. So this is. These are
this
2
is the
pieces
piece,
we're
yeah.
looking at of this.
Yep. There's a chocolate hazelnut, and then there is a mocha hazelnut.
So what do we have here?
That's one of each.
Oh, one of each. Oh, okay.
Something like
what is
that.
underneath that?
Goodness.
There's cream in there. It's delicious.
I didn't even know the cream was in there. Hold on.
Oh my goodness. Is it good? Okay. I want to make sure I get on the other side so I don't get your.
It's a good idea.
You don't get his cooties. You don't want his cooties.
I personally don't like to brush my teeth.
Well, trust me, I know. I sit next to you every day. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I've never had anything like that, where you can just tell each one of these pieces is so thinly
And you know,
perfection.
this is the benefit of local business. That's what this is. This is someone who takes the time to perfect their craft, and then they bring it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to find this in your local supermarket.
Yeah.
You're not going to find this at a chain restaurant.
You might find something in a freezer section that doesn't
Right.
have any resemblance of it somewhere.
Right.
Well, it won't be nearly as tasty
Not
because
at
the
all.
apples would have no flavor.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And you know what the problem is? Sometimes, I know you think I'm going to say something funny, but I'm not. Sometimes we become so desensitized with our food
Absolutely.
that you're just so used to eating the same old garb that when you do taste something that maybe costs a little bit more money or has a much better flavor, you're kind of like, whoa, like it's so not like something you eat.
Right. Right. If you've had real buttercream, you are never going to want to go back to that shortening, whipped topping, coating that's on those cakes you get at the supermarket.
I like the waxy buildup I get on the roof of my mouth.
That's really sad.
I really like the flavor of plastic. It's great.
Where is he located?
3rd and Gage. There's a little.
So this is across from the Pines.
Kind of, yeah. There's a little wooden strip mall there next to Hayden High School, right by the junction to the highway.
Really a
Yes.
wonderful.
Great place.
I'm just deciding when the cameras turn off and everybody's gone, how I'm going to dive into this. And they'll be like, back off, Slack, it's mine.
This is mine.
Well,
I
thank
just
you.
want to tell you, I'm going into my calendar right now. How do I get in my calendar?
Well, you have to push the calendar button. There you go.
calendar
Okay,
button.
well, I'm glad we're making everybody
Here we
wait
go.
for this. This is good.
Diet blown.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's what the holidays are for,
And you know
right?
what that means?
Invite me to that
It
appointment.
means the rest of the day I can eat whatever I want. So I'll take these to go because you can get me a box. I will take these and I'll be eating them for the next several hours until midnight when it starts all over again.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
I do know how it goes.
Girl. This is wonderful. I do have to say that this is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
And I'm not normally an apple person.
And
Well-
you've got chocolate fudge kind of cake, and there are a lot of really spectacular things on this table right in front of us.
There really are. And if you want to know what else he's got, just go down there and talk to him.
Yep, that's it.
Go down there and see
Very
him.
easy. That's a real simple solution.
Yep.
Well, we're really glad to be in Topeka with folks who know
I'm
what they're
thankful that I
talking
know
about with food.
I really am.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this piece. Did you see how I've just been gobbling this? I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I keep touching your side. I'm
So I hope
sorry.
we didn't annoy people too much with our chomping down of food, but folks, get down to Elegant Temptations over at 3rd and Gage.
3rd and Gage.
Yeah.